Welcome to Find You Fridays. It is Friday and it is a wet, windy, and wild Friday. Aren't we just so lucky to have such a beautiful, emotion-filled, chaotic time with the weather. We have had it was predicted between 80 and 100-kilometer wind gusts between last night and tonight. So it's been very interesting up here in the hills. Not sure what it was like down on the plains because I really didn't leave home much today. What can I say? So let us just get over to there and just do one more sharing before I really focus on you guys, because you are my most important people today. Hi, Debbie. How are you going today, my love? There we go. Beautiful. I can now focus. Happy days. All right, let's just bring my operations just a little bit closer. All right. Gotta love some Bengal spice tea. Let me get my calendar up because I know we have a full moon tomorrow. And that explains a lot. Hi, Melinda. Yeah, you made it. I wasn't sure that was out of the question, but I'm glad that you made it. Did you get affected by the outages and stuff? Who wants to come play? I know why that feels weird as back to front. Hi, Juanita. It was windy. But I do like a good storm. I'm just not a big fan of driving in big storms here in Adelaide. And part of that is because our roads are not the same as New Zealand. They are not designed with the same kind of canvas, so the same kind of slopes. And so it's like when you're going around a corner in New Zealand, it banks up on the outer edge. And here they have it kind of like going like that. And there is a slight rise, but it's not very much. And yes, even though we're driving on the inside, but when it comes to that outside corner, yeah, it gets a bit hairy. And then, of course, you're dealing with a lot of gum trees, and gum trees are absolutely shocking for dropping limbs, and especially in the summertime. But in the wintertime with the high winds, they can be really, really dangerous. I've seen even twigs coming down off gum trees and literally piercing all the way through potted plants like an arrow, and it's so dangerous. So yeah. Hi Tamara. Hi Juanita, and thank you, my love. Very, very dangerous. Yeah, gum trees are absolutely shocking in those more extreme weather. So in extreme heat or extreme winds, they're just absolutely shocking, which is why I was like, my partner had to drive around a lot today, and I was just like, please be careful out there. And then on top of all of that, a lot of our roads are not done with the same grippiness. We don't have the same amount of reflective stuff in the paint. So quite often when it's raining, the lines disappear, especially in the daytime. They just completely disappear. So you can imagine on, the lane where there's like 3 lanes going the same way, that's quite dangerous, and people don't know where they're supposed to be going, and because the canvas are all up the shit and the drainage doesn't work very well, you can't see the lines even with your lights on. So I don't like driving in Adelaide when it's wet and windy. It's not fun. So yeah, and other interesting news today was that there's been a big glitch. I'm going to put it that way. A big glitch in the systems, and I'm sure that most of you already know about that. Now, Alex being in IT, it didn't affect them because they don't deal with that same sort of malware company at their work, the Department of Education. So it didn't affect them at all. But quite clearly, some banks were affected, some supermarkets were affected, and lots of other big businesses were affected. So, yeah. Yeah, there was back in my disability days. Here's a fun fact about the road lines. Back in my disability days, there was a gentleman that I was to take out and about. And because he was Italian and only spoke Italian, he would generally have either his sister, his mum, or both along for the ride. And I would drive their van and we would go out and about. And his sister was actually a scientist, and part of what they were researching was, why is it that New Zealand road lines could be seen from space? What is it that they do differently that makes it so good? And I'm like, how? Like, the crossing of those two paths is just so odd. Here's me as a Kiwi, and he's a sister, maybe. It was just the oddest combination, but it really made me take even more notice of the fact that we can't see the road lines here in Adelaide. It's terrible. Oh dear. All right, so that's enough about roads and weather, I think. And funny little computer glitches out there in the world. Sounds interesting. So what is it? Oh, they just put more reflective shit in it. They don't skimp on the cost. And I also think it has something to do with the grit of the road. So the road in New Zealand is generally a lot more gritty. There's a lot more aggregate and chunky aggregate. Don't fall over on your push bike because you'll be ripped to shreds. It's not great. But what happens is that because you've got all those it's like a crystal, because you've got multiple angles that the reflective surface can be seen in, as opposed to in Adelaide roads, it's a lot flatter. Then you've only it doesn't really bounce back at you. It just kind of scooches off that way. So that's a big part of why the New Zealand roads are so much easier to see the white lines than it is here. Which is why when they did the part of the freeway between Harndorf and Mount Barker, and they made it so flat, I'm just like going, oh, this is going to be so dangerous in our winter because it's so smooth and the water is just going to sit on the top of that, just going to be shocking. And I can tell you that when the wet weather really kicked in here, every single day we were having car crashes, and it was nuts, absolutely nuts. What can you do? You see, as one of my lovely people at work says, don't come around here making sense. Oh, really, Debbie? That's such a shame. Dear, oh dear. Is she still in power? I think she's gone, hasn't she? I don't know. I can't vote. Haven't been able to vote for a long time because it's been more than 5 years since I've been back. So it's been more than 3. I have to have visited back once within 3 years. And because it's been more than 5 now, I can't vote there. And I can't vote here. And I'm glad. I don't really want to vote anywhere. I think they're all a bunch of ding-dongs. It's like, why would I wish to support any of them, to be quite fair? But let's not get political. We no longer make bitumen. Oh, really? How can you not make bitumen? That's crazy. Even Adelaide makes bitumen. I know, because they've had to clean their offices and they're bloody horrible. Such a messy, dirty thing to be doing. Imagine what it was like for the coal miners, the people who worked in the offices and cleaned the coal mining offices. It would have been same thing, really, really dirty. Anywho, so full moon. Has anybody else been feeling the full moon? Because I certainly have been. Full moons for me mean I don't really feel like doing much, as in my body just wants to go into quietness and hibernation and just being physically reasonably still for 2 to 3 days. Obviously, life doesn't always allow me to do that, and yesterday was a perfect example of that. I ended up out on a clear out job, and I was there from 1:30, and within 4 or 5 hours, I walked nearly 9 kilometers, carrying loads between, like, to put into the skip bin, to put those loads into the trailer, and then into a second skip bin because we managed to get another one in, so that was great. But yes. Hi, Jess. So yes, today has been a day of very much a lot of quietness, where I am just chilling, doing my cross stitch, watching movies, watching TV shows, and just being still. I didn't even do the dishes today. That's how still I've been. I did go to the shops and pick up some food for Alex so that we could actually have he could have some dinner tonight. So that was nice of him. All right, so let's have a look at this weekly reading. We're going to be going from what is today? The 20th through to the 26th. Yes, dishes can wait. Or Alex can do them. One way or the other. They'll get done. Let's have a look at this reading for the collective for this coming week, because I'd like to see how things are working out there. How are we going? How can we best work with these energies? I know we've got funky retrogrades and all sorts of things going on at the moment, and I'm sure there's probably some solar flares thrown in for good measure, and full moon, and so let's just throw it all in the big melting pot and see what the hell happens. It just gets a little bit crazy out there. I watched one of the movies I watched today was Simply Red, and it was about this lovely, very talented actress who, well, the story is she's working, gets fired, but she really, 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 really loves Dolly Parton. Oh, that's wonderful, Jess. I'm so happy for you. Yay. It just goes through this beautiful character development of her being Dolly Parton impersonator, and I won't tell you what happens at the end, because if you happen to like country music and Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers and things like that, I think you'll quite enjoy the show. So yeah, that was one of the things I watched today. That was great. And I watched, just for something completely different, I watched the latest part of Cobra Kai that was just released yesterday. So it's like 4 or 6 episodes. So I watched that too, just for something a little bit different. It's like, I'm not a violent person, but sometimes it's interesting watching people be violent. And for this particular story, the battle between heart and aggression. And yeah, I like those interesting kind of character development type stuff. All right, so this week to come. Interesting. I am sure we had this pop up either last week or the week before, but in a different pack. So the first card that we've got is mediumship, which says you have a natural ability to connect with departed loved ones. And what I'm getting from this one is that with all of these shifts and changes going on in the world right now, your departed loved ones, whoever is part of your spirit team at the moment, are really gathering close to you right now. And this is for the collective, okay? So this is for everybody who is watching this now and into the future for the next week, for the 23rd to the 26th of July. Hard to believe we're coming through to nearly the last of July. This is crazy. Anyhow, so your spirit team is gathering around you very, very close. So if you're feeling like you're a little bit alone right now, drop down into spaciousness, whether that be meditation, whether that be, some kind of quiet exercise, whether it's just sort of like those moments where you turn off the technology. Maybe it's in the shower, maybe it's in the toilet, whatever. Maybe it's in a bath. I ain't going to judge you for where you connect to your loved ones or your spirit team. Sometimes even driving the car, if you just turn off all the bits and bobs, all the audio books and the music and the podcasts and all the radio and everything, and just be quiet and just listen to the car, that can be incredibly meditative as well. And that's at a time when you can also potentially check in with your spirit team and or yourself. So this week, if you're feeling a little bit like, I don't have anybody around me that supports me, I don't have anybody that knows me, I don't feel like I can reach out to anybody, please know that your spirit team is there for you this week. Which is very interesting because the next card that pops up for you is listen to your intuitive feelings. Your body is receiving accurate messages from the divine. So our body sends us messages all the time. Now, whether we actually listen to them or not is a whole other story. But if you've got a bunch of weird things happening, I went through about 6 weeks of having hardcore sinus issues, and it was affecting my ears a lot, and so I'd have to be like that all the time to crack my ears and make them open up again, and I had that, and then that was a big massive bio upgrade for me. I was having to basically dump out a lot of old toxic energies so that I could receive even more information, either auditory or through my third eye. But when you think about it, your ears, your eye, your third eye, everything in between that is all connected. So your intuitive feelings, watch out for those things. Watch out for things like seeing things out of the corner of your eye. Maybe it's your heart, or maybe your arm feels funny, or just watch out for the things. Maybe it's just a gut instinct. Maybe somebody invites you out and you just get a bit of a like in your gut, and you're going to go, ooh, rather than just going yes because you want to be a people pleaser and not upset anybody. Ask some questions of your body, like, what is it that you're aware of? Is there something, that is maybe going to happen on the way to there? Is there something that could happen if I don't go? What will it create if I go? What will it create if I don't go? Those sorts of things. Start tapping into your awareness. I think we're all going to be getting, hi Brian, some beautiful, beautiful upgrades, okay? Because the next one that we've got is you are profoundly clairvoyant. So we've got mediumship, intuitive feelings, and clairvoyancy. All right. Trust what you see in your mind's eye as well as with your physical sight, for your spiritual vision helps you with healing, teaching, and guidance. Now, instantly, I am reminded of one of my very good friends who is legally blind. Yet, legally blind doesn't mean you have no vision, but it means you have at least a certain amount of reduced vision. And my beautiful friend is an incredible photographer, but also they are a remedial massage therapist. And for the majority of the time, when they're doing a massage, they do it with their eyes closed. Okay? They are working with the body from an energetic space of touch and feel, as in energy and bodies. And when you get massaged by this person, it feels so different to anything else that you would have had before if you've had just traditional people massage you. And that's because he trusts what he sees in his mind's eye. Okay, so what if you started doing that more with yourself? What if you started trusting you more this week? Instead of sort of looking to everybody else for the answers, what if you came back to you? Because you are potent and you are powerful. Okay, so there's that. Oh, cool. Popping ears. It's fun. Vegetarian, vegan. This is a funny card to come up for me. But anyhow, fresh organic fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency. Now, this is when I'm seeing this one coming up, what I'm hearing more so is be aware of where your food comes from. Okay. If you're using and eating a lot of processed food, I can almost guarantee this week it's going to kick up in your guts and you're going to feel it. So this is kind of like a gentle reminder to go back to eating non-processed foods as much as possible this week, because your body's going to require some of the easy to digest stuff. Like when it's not raw, but when it's a whole food, it's easier for the body to know what to do with that. Okay. When it is a processed food, it doesn't know what to do with that. And it just tries to push it through your system as quickly as possible. And it often actually wraps it up in mucus as it goes through to protect your body from what you're eating. So be aware of what you're eating this week, because you might find it has some dire consequences. I'm so funny. All right. Law of attraction. Food in its natural state. Thank you, Melinda. Law of attraction. So whether that be fruit, vegetables, meat, I'm not particularly fussed on which way you're going with that. It's just be aware that if you have a lot of processed food this week, it's possibly going to react with your body. Law of attraction, relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. So things that you may have thought that you enjoyed doing before, you may not this week. And think about things like, let's go Friday night drinks with the boys. And you might be feeling like, actually, nah, I think I'd rather stay home. You might be feeling like there's a certain person, now this has just popped into my mind, there's a certain person that may have popped into your mind that you haven't thought of for a little while. It's time to reach out to them, because there's a reason why that high vibe person, especially if there's someone that makes you feel good, right? There'll be a reason why that high vibe person has popped into your mind. And so perhaps they require some of your high vibes, and it would be great to connect. And or it could be that you require some time with them to recenter and revibe yourself. And so just be aware of that too this week. Okay. There is somebody I can think of that's relevant for me. And this week, we're being asked to soften, to not be in our hardcore fight, trying to push against the flow of the energies or anything like that. It's just like, we've just got to go with the flow and just go, okay, it is what it is. Instead of being in the traffic and trying to do weird shit like I saw this week, and being tailgating and all of that sort of crazy stuff, just ease back. Give yourself 3 to 4 seconds following distance and be easy with everything going on and all the energies, because there's a lot of people out there who are not as aware as you are, who are not as informed as you are about all of the wackadoodle wonderful energies, these creative energies that are flowing at the moment. And as we become even more aware and more upgraded and more living into the 5D world instead of the 3D, you'll find that things that used to upset you, things that used to piss you off, no longer do. And you're just at peace. I know that has definitely been true for me. And I found myself more and more just going, oh, you've got some aggression. Here you go. You can bust up that thing. I don't need to. I'm good. I had that this week, where one of my co-workers really, really wanted to do some demolishing of cupboards and things. And I was just like, yeah, here you go. I don't need you. I'll hold the light for you. And I find myself doing a lot more of just allowing space for others to express themselves, which is fun. Hi, Judy. Hi, Chris. And Christine. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, Judy, it could be a bit of that too. Of just caring less about what other people think as I get older. I'm just far more in a space of ease and peacefulness around most things these days. I still have my moments. I still have my blind spots. I still have my points where I'm like, I still get frustrated from time to time when it's things that are out of my control. But at the same time, I managed to let them go a lot more quickly these days, which is fun. Absolutely fun. All right. Let me take a quick picture of these. So if we wish to use this deck again today, then we can. Because I don't always remember to do it, but it is handy for me. Here we go. Oops. Let's not cover it up. That would be a great idea. Yay. Ching, ching. Beautiful. Alrighty. Let me have a little look and see. So, Tamara, you were first cab off the ranks. So if you could pretty please pop your question up in the chat, that would be amazing. I can feel your excitement, Tamara. That is so cool. Just while you're doing that, I'm just going to quickly grab my pendulums. Oh. I actually, because the job that I have, I get to do a lot of hoard and declutters and stuff like that. And every now and then I get to pick up some really cool stuff. And I feel really fortunate that I have this particular job. And there are times when I can gift things forward to people in need. There are times when I can gift things to my friends because I know that they will absolutely love them. Then there are little things like this wee box here. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. So that's the back end of the box. And it has these gorgeous carvings on it. And I saw it and it was covered in dust and it looked really manky. And I cleaned it up and it's got like a little red velvet on the bottom there. And this is, I guess you could call it a witchy woo box, really. But it's got a piece of selenite in there, selenite wand. And then my 3 pendulums live in there. I've got zebra, whatever that is. Zebra something. That one. And I've got a piece of rose quartz that I got from when I did a event over at Breathe, Stretch and Float. And I've got a little bit of, I think it's maybe aquamarine or something like that. I can't remember. It looks like a jade, but I don't think it is. Anyway. So yes, I feel very lucky that I have that kind of a job where I get to do these things, and it's so cool to be able to take some of these items and give them a second home rather than them just going to the dump, you know. So yes, I get the feeling we've got some pendulum work coming up. All right. So I'd like to know what I need to know right now. There are lots of big changes and challenges happening right now. That's just the energies in general, Tamara. These are, adventuring maybe. Yeah, I think that's correct for this one. Okay. What do you need to know? I think for this one, my dear, I'm going to use my nice brand new pack, which I introduced to the team last week. It is the Heal Yourself Oracle by Ina Segal. Now, this Oracle deck is really interesting. It can be a bit brutal. So just warning you. It's a no bullshit one. And the very first reading I did for myself, I was like standing there looking at it going, right, well, that's a bit fun. It kind of made me go cringe and then go, you're right, but okay. So let's have a look. See, what does Tamara's team wish to know? Yeah, it's like slap you around the head. Oh, thanks, guys. It's good stuff though, because you know what? Sometimes we actually have to be told. Sometimes we do, because we like to bury our heads in the sand about the hard stuff sometimes. And as somebody lovingly said to me one day when I was sort of avoiding something, it was actually breaking up with a boyfriend at the time, and I was like, but do I have to? And they're like, honey, you have the awareness of what to do. So now it's time for you to put on your big girl boots and your big girl panties and do what needs to be done. And I'm like, okay. And I feel like that's kind of like what these cards do for us, is like they're that lovely, wonderful sage person in the corner going, gotta put your big girl boots on and your big girl panties. Do what needs to be done. Don't ask me what that accent was. Don't even try. I've been listening and watching a bunch of different things today. So it could be a slight American in there. It could be slight Australian in there, like East Coast Australian. There'll be a good chunk of Kiwi in there. Okay, it's okay. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Because I'm still getting to know the cards, we do read out the bits. So I hope you don't mind. All right. So we got unleash your creativity. Cool. So number 31. And it says your creative talents and abilities are your most powerful assets. Allow your imagination to roam without limits and access new ideas without judging them. It is time for you to be innovative and birth unique creations. If you are feeling stuck, get up and move, try new things, meet new people, read books, paint, and so on. Concentrate on the area of your life where you need to be creative. Are you a great singer who needs to share your talents with others? Do you have an affinity with gardening? Can you tell powerful stories? Are you technically minded? Can you whip up amazing meals? What is your special flavor of creativity? Whatever it is, give yourself permission and the time to be inventive. The more creative you allow yourself to be, the more fulfilled you are going to feel. So, given that you already have these cards, I would recommend to you to just jot down the numbers and you can have a look at the actions for yourself. What I'm going to do for you is I'm just going to read the bits and then I'll see what else pops up along the way. Okay, because sometimes your team is talking to me as we are doing this, so it ends up being a bit of a mishmash. But anyway, let's have a look at the next one. Now, the first time I saw this card last week, I was like, whew, this is a bit confronting, but okay. But as we read it, it makes a lot more sense. So it's number 36, which is hole in the soul. Your childhood wounds are creating a hole in your soul. One way your childhood wounds disrupt an extraordinary life is through low-grade depression experienced as perpetual empty feeling. If, as a child, you tried to make everything all right by picking up the pieces of your family dramas, then you adopted a false self. When you lose your authentic self, you disconnect from your true feelings, needs, and desires. Instead, you wear a mask to make others feel more comfortable. Being detached leads to profound loneliness and isolation as you are always mourning your true self. This card encourages you to discover your true self through learning about your childhood and mourning the abandonment and neglect. Now, the next pieces of the message that are coming through in relation to the first card is that if you're feeling like you can't be creative, have a look and see where your childhood wounds are sitting that is creating blocks in your world, stopping you from your creativity. Whether that be you started out writing stories, so I can feel from mine, and I didn't have a hell of a lot of encouragement because, I mean, God, they were stories from a kid's perspective and they maybe weren't so great, but the heart was there for them. But then you see my mum had a high priority on good spelling and grammar, and not just good, great, excellent. She wished excellence as far as all of that goes, and so there was always a lot of tension and stress around story writing and being creative with the written word for me. So it took a long, long time to undo those childhood wounds so that I could do things like write poetry. Because poetry, you don't have to have good grammar. So I got around it eventually. And it was still a way to express myself. So have a look at those childhood wounds. look at what it is you're being creative about or wish to be creative with. And then, like, I've seen a YouTube channel of a girl who absolutely loves doing jigsaw puzzles. And she just does jigsaw puzzles on her YouTube channel. That's what her thing is. She just does jigsaw puzzles, and she does different ones. So that's her passion. That's what she's the most creative, right? The next one we've got is, let's jump back 10 pages to number 26, is letting go. All right, there we go. Letting go. Oh, that's a really interesting image. Fascinating. Sorry, the images in the background had me kind of going, what on earth is that? Okay, so the thing that is like a squiggly line there is actually just a pile of rocks, but I was looking at it as if it was and a serpent. I saw snakes. A snake, which is, I find interesting. Anyway, letting go. This situation has served its purpose. You are being challenged to change your point of view and recognize that this particular relationship has run its course. Although you might be afraid to let go, the universe has a new opportunity for you, which will allow you to experience the kind of passion and satisfaction you have always dreamed of. Saying goodbye is never easy, and can make you feel like you are a failure. You must not allow yourself to be persuaded by other people or your own doubts to keep holding on. Focus on opening your heart to a new opportunity. Leave the baggage of past mistakes behind you. It is important that during the letting go process, you are gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to have alone time, write, meditate, paint, sing, and dance. Do whatever you can to heal and let go of the pain that is holding you back. Recognize that your spirit is beckoning to you to grow. So there is a relationship that is asking to be let go, but it's not a personal one. It's not a romantic relationship. There's something else. So that's just from my quick, just checking in. You know what this is about. Now, whether this is to do with a workplace or a friendship, perhaps you've just outgrown each other and it's time to do something different, something new, maybe meet some different people. But yeah, it's so funny that I was talking about the big girl boots and the big girl panties and breaking up with a boyfriend right at the beginning, because clearly it's something that was flowing through your reading anyway. There is an aspect that it's time to let go of, and it's to give you the freedom to choose for your creativity. So let's just look at that back. So what if the letting go is of, let me just check this with your team. Oh, interesting. Okay, so there's the letting go of the masks that you have had in place since your childhood that are preventing you from your creativity. But there are certain people that those masks are linked to, that until you're willing to not have them in so much of a dominant force in your life, things will start, once you let that aspect of them go, of them being so important to your sense of self-worth, that childhood stuff is going to start undoing, and then you'll find your passions will start bubbling to the surface. So it's a changing around of how people are sitting in your life. Okay, cool. Yeah, family sucks sometimes. Why do you think I live in Australia and all my family's in New Zealand? In saying that, my half-sister's gotten engaged today. So, yay! To a lovely American guy. So I'm very, very happy for her. Right. Now, this is an interesting one because it's actually upside down. So I'm curious to see what this one's all about, because generally upside down can mean either a slowing down or a stopping, or you're doing the complete and utter opposite of this. So it's like, So let's have a look. It was number 6, which is cycles. Okay. So just holding that one up there. Life is cyclical. Sometimes things flow and other times they slow down. What cycle of your life are you in right now? What is the one area of your life where you need to focus most of your energy? Is it time for you to focus on your family? Do you need alone time to discover your true purpose? Do you yearn to open your heart and love fully, deeply, and passionately? Is this the time for healing and regeneration? Maybe you are completely ready to enthusiastically concentrate on your life purpose and put all your energy and effort into making your dreams a reality. Each cycle you encounter offers you fresh gifts and possibilities to learn and grow. The better you become at identifying the cycle you are in, the more flow and harmony you will experience in the choices that you make. So, it was reversed. I asked your team, did you mean for that to be a reverse? Because I always double check these things. And they said yes. So this is they're saying to me, you're blocking this. You're blocking your true cycle where you're actually at right now. And it's kind of like, there's the wisdom that you know that you're trying to pretend like you don't know it. So that you can be accepted by your family. All right, that was just as the messages were coming through from your team. It takes a little while for me sometimes to put the energy into words. So that's the pauses. There's a lot of fear there. They're showing me a couple of different aspects. It's kind of like you're afraid of how the family will react if you drop all those masks and things away. And yet there's an awareness of their fear of what will happen if you do. But it's like both of those things are unfounded. And it's more of a fear of the unknown than anything else, and a fear of control as well, or a loss of control on their behalf. They're more afraid that you will, if you are not as manipulatable, then they don't have the control over you. And that then becomes harder for them. And that's what they're afraid of. And there's a fear from your side of losing them because it's family. And at the end of the day, we are tribal people. We love being accepted and a part of a tribe. And so we try our best to have that in our world. And we might be born into a particular tribe, but that might not be the full tribe for us. There might be certain members within that tribe that are, a beautiful connection point. The rest of them are actually there to teach you stuff. That might be to teach you how to be strong. It might be there to teach you how to be resilient, to teach you how to be empathetic. It might be how to teach you how to have boundaries, how to, and given that you had the hole in the soul, the childhood wounds stuff coming up as well, I'm getting that you actually what's really happening right now is, and if it's a lot of family stuff popping up, which has been mentioned, it's time to look at things from a different perspective. So turn it on its head. Turn your family situations on your head. Look at it from an observant kind of perspective and kind of go, if this was just me looking at this from a life review point of view, what am I learning here? What are they teaching me? What is the lesson? What is the energy? How am I growing? How have I changed through this interaction? And doing those kind of review moments, those reflective moments, really helps shift a lot of that old stuff. So yeah, turn it on its head. That's why that was upside down. This next card is one that I used to really, it pops up in a lot of oracle cards at card decks, and it used to drive me bonkers. It was one of my most cards. Number 23, which is patience. So let's see what your lovely team wishes you to know about patience. You must develop patience in all areas of your life. Patience does not mean that you give up and do nothing. On the contrary, you need to be aware of several aspects of the circumstance that you are facing. Patience requires you to stop pushing, rushing, and creating potentially explosive situations. Instead, it asks you to see the bigger picture and become aware of the ingredients that might be missing. If you are impatient with a particular person, instead give them space. Avoid jumping to conclusions and making up dramatic stories about a person or a situation without being aware of all the details. If you have an opportunity to let go of judgment, always look for the truth of the situation, not what someone is saying or doing, but why. What did I just say? Anybody would think I was like a little bit psychic or something. I've never seen this card before, but there you go. Patience can be connected to a health condition you are recovering from, a new diet or an exercise program you have embarked on, or a new course of study that you may have begun. So, patience. And the other part of that one was that as you're doing this digging work, the patience to be soft with you while you do this. Because as you dig down and see things from that more overarching point of view and see how all the pieces fit in together, it's like, oh, that. So I'll give you an example. When I was doing my diploma of holistic counseling, there was a section there on numerology. And, you have to go through and sort out your 5 different people's life path numbers, and you choose the 5 people that are closest to you. And then you have a look at that, and you have a look at how they combine with your life path number. Turns out my mother and I have the same life path number. And when I was looking at all the attributes, there was some we both have on both sides, like the more positive and then the more challenging, like the more challenging side. But overall, the ratio was, there was a lot more of the positive stuff on mine and a lot more of the challenging stuff on hers. And I was looking at that, and then all of a sudden, because I was asking the question, why? Why is that the case? Just like that card said, look at it from the why. And all of a sudden, I got the information, because I was using my intuitive awareness, because, it's just there now. And what I got told and what I intuited was that my dearest mum when we were in spirit form, we made a deal. We have a soul agreement that I was to be born, and she was to show me all the aspects of me that could be, that would be best not to choose. And so essentially she, as they would say, took one for the team. And the other aspect of that was, in choosing that, it was to mold me in such a way that helped me to become incredibly self-reliant, independent, and strong within my own right, so that I would leave the family circle. Like, my destiny was not to be with my family. It was to be away from my family, so that I could create more for the collective away from my homeland. And that was why she and I have the exact same life path number. And you know, I'm sure there's a lot of other reasons as well. But when I had that moment, I just broke down in tears of gratitude for my mother having chosen such a hard fucking road for herself and for me, so I wouldn't choose it, because I could see all those aspects and go, I ain't choosing that. No way. I don't like that. I don't like how that feels. I'm not choosing that. And so she did a really, really good job. She still is to this day, doing a really, really good job of showing me the aspects of me, what could be me, that I don't wish to choose. And in that moment, all of the judgment and the pain and the heartache that I was carrying for years, like I'm talking maybe, gosh, I would say at least 30 odd years, just disappeared. It absolutely just melted away. And now if we have interactions, I'm just surprised. And it's like, oh, wow. She's actually wished me happy birthday. Oh my God. Rather than being, oh, she didn't wish me happy birthday, and her birthday's the day after mine, and how can she forget my birthday? Which was my story for a long, long time. So, looking at things from a different perspective. The information comes when it's ready, and when you're ready. But yeah, patience. Gotta love it. Interestingly, you got generosity as your yummy card. So, and I'm hearing generosity of spirit. There's a lot of love that you have to give, and I know you do a lot already. And the other part that I'm getting is that it's time to bring some of that back for you to be the generosity of spirit with you, to give yourself that kindness and the caring and the nurturing that you truly desire and require. And as you soften and as you do that for you, you're going to receive more of that from those around you that truly, truly do have your back and love you and just wish you to be so unbelievably, incredibly happy. Okay? Hope you had fun with that, my dear. So yes, get creative. And as you get creative, start taking note of what's stopping you. And that little process will allow you to go into some more deeper healing, which will allow you to have some freedom. Thank you, Tamara, for your very kind donation. I am so incredibly grateful for you, and Find You Fridays is grateful for you. And because without amazing generous donations like yours, the show wouldn't be able to run with as much ease as it does. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cool. Yes, Christine. The cool thing about these cards that I really love is that they they do have the actions that you can take. So, for example, the action for patience is to focus on one thing at a time. Say to yourself, I accept what is without judgment. I am willing to practice patience and presence. Breathe slowly and deeply while focusing on what is. Be aware of the air hitting your nostrils and lungs. Soften and relax. Be the explorer of the present moment. Discover what is magical, beautiful, and serene in this moment. If you're feeling unwell or stressed, just allow yourself to explore these feelings with awareness with the awareness that they will pass. Yeah, true, Tamara. Just adventuring. Maybe you need some adventuring in your world. Jess, do you do healing at people's homes? I've told my best friend she wants to know if you're working near Craigmore. I don't generally travel for my stuff these days. Because my Monday to Thursday job, I end up traveling a lot all over. I did, something like near on 500 kilometers just this week. And that's not an unusual amount for me. It's I don't tend to do a hell of a lot of work at other people's homes these days. But people could always come to me, or we can do online sessions, which is always fun, because when you start comprehending quantum dynamics, healing can happen over a distance. And yeah, I do know so much that the healing that we can do skin to skin, or at least in presence, makes massive difference too, because the body likes to be touched for most people. And it's so interesting, Jess, that you mentioned that, because as soon as we started talking about that, my hands just got super hot. So like the Reiki is working. Thank you for reactivating that one today. All right. So Christine, you are the next beautiful session paid reading. So thank you for your kind donation. I very much appreciate it. Yes, I love it, Jess. It's just so good. Pain law helping me with my claim roof repair. I was with another claim, so I have to call them. What can my guides inform me as to get the roof repaired? Going with the flow, can't force. I'm unsure of your question. Let me see. Which reminds me, Jess, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I must jot a note to myself. Of course, I don't have a pen right here, which is annoying. 2 seconds. Sorry, guys. I have to write a note to myself. Because I need to, and it is a need because I haven't done it yet, put in my application for the next Mount Barker Fair. Right. I told her about how you did mine and how much it helped, and I think it will help her. I'll let her know. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Jess. All right. Christine, what if timing isn't everything? What if time is a construct? It's a thing that us awesome humans have made up to make sense of our world, and it's all complete and utter bullshit. So I'll see what the cards here is going to tell me about your roofing situation. You've already got someone helping you with your roof, with the claim for the roof repair. Whew. So we'll see. We'll see what your guides can tell us. Okay. So oh, that's awesome, Jess. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the next one's in November. So they do it 3 times a year. And I was there earlier in the year. I think it's February, whatever the last one was, maybe June, maybe in November. So yeah. And of course, I'll post that up. All right. So Christine, we've got the wordy cards, so there's not much point holding them up. So these wordy cards are a little bit different to the other ones that we use in that as I'm reading them, it's a little bit like when I do my poetry things. It's like certain words and phrases are popping out that are going to make sense for what your team is trying to tell me. So the first card in full says, be open to your feelings, look inside yourself and allow the feelings you have been hiding to emerge. And what I'm seeing from that, what your team is trying to tell me is that you know what you need to do for you. You're not trusting your own intuition and you're not trusting your awareness. And there's something that is stopping you from trusting you. Now, whether that be the people around you, whether that be past stuff, whether that be past lifetime stuff, that's something to dig into in a healing session or something. But basically, the biggest issue that they're showing me here is that you're not trusting yourself to know what you know, because you do know. You know more than anybody. as to the best way forward. You are a smart lady. You are a very smart lady, but you're not allowing yourself to be smart for yourself. And the reason why I say that is because the next card that you've got is celebrate your achievements thus far. You deserve this reward. But soon you must continue on your journey, for it is not yet complete. So what I'm seeing here is like, this is the beginning of, well, the next stages, I should say, of trusting yourself. And to help trust you, you have to celebrate what you already have done and what you already know. And all those times all that you've made decisions and choices and gone in a certain direction and it's worked out really well, or even the ones that you've gone in a certain direction and it hasn't worked well, you've learned something from that. And that's something to celebrate too. Okay. And as far as the roof goes, they're basically saying that while you seem to have run into a little bit of difficulty, I'm actually getting it's more of an internal monkey mind difficulty, right? As in, it says, do not fear failure or be apathetic. It is simply part of your journey. Make the necessary changes and follow your gut instinct and try to maintain the vision of your goal. Because don't force it. Just let it go. Let it flow. They're saying just breathe is what I'm hearing. Just breathe. You're trying to force things to go in a certain direction at too quick a pace. They're working with you. Your team is working with you to help this be the best outcome for everybody in the equation. And you're there poking at it all the time. And it's poking holes in the creation rather than allowing it to just come together. Yes, you can encourage it to come forward. Yes, you can encourage the roof claim of the roof repair in a gentle kind of a uplifting, feminine, delicious kind of a way. But if you're sitting there constantly going pick, 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 judge, 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 all that lovely energy that's gone into creating the best possible outcome for everybody concerned is being leached away. And you're doing it to yourself. If you stop doing that, enjoy the sense of satisfaction that comes from doing something well. You have earned it. Okay? You've got this. You know what to do. You just have to trust yourself, love. Okay? Let's have a look at your yummy card. I got understanding. Not a particular fan of that word because it means that you're under the problem. So if you're understanding the problem of your lack of trust in your own intuition, what does that mean to you? Who or what has created a space in your world where you don't trust you? And this is not about blaming. This is about awareness. And whatever that is, or whoever that is, it's time to forgive them. It's time to let it go so that you can trust yourself once more. It may have even been something in another life. Maybe you did something wrong in another life, and this is part of your karma. It's a karmic rebalancing. It's not a debt, it's a rebalancing. You're learning to trust in a different way. Okay? It's time, my dear. The unconditional love for you as you. You're very, very welcome. Right. Cool. Alrighty. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Cool bananas. We are now going to do what we didn't get to do last week, because it was a brilliant week and you guys were super duper generous, so I had lots of extended readings to do. But we are going to do the expanding out exercise first, because when we did this the other week, you guys were able to give me some really, really, really different poetry cards, poetry readings we haven't had before. So close your eyes, everybody, and open your mind. All right, take a big, deep breath in and out. And as you breathe in, breathing all the way down to the bottom of your belly. And breathing out all the way down, allowing all your muscles to relax, your shoulders, your chest, your belly, everything to relax into the exhale. Even your mind, your temples. As you breathe in, and as you exhale again, just relaxing a little bit further. Now you're going to bring Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. And as you breathe out, you're going to bring Father Sky energy all the way down. As you breathe in, bring Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Now expanding out your awareness in a big, beautiful bubble up into the sky, down into the earth, larger than the building that you're in, larger than the country that you're in, larger than the planet, expanding out your awareness greater than the solar system, greater than the galaxies, and expanding out your awareness greater than the universes. Take a big deep breath in and out. And as you focus once more on your beautiful, sweet body, you're going to grab your sense of allowance and you're going to expand that out. You're going to expand out your allowance greater than your body, remembering that as you expand out your allowance, you're going from being the tight, contracted little pebble wrapped in white light at the bottom of the raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, being battered and trashed about at the effect of them and feeling small and bruised and battered. And you're going to expand out so that you become like the big fluffy cloud, just floating along, observing that raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and seeing it for exactly what it is. It's just energy. And you can choose to respond and react to it or not. Your response can be just to float on by, light in heart and mind, or you can dump your load on there. Let it rain, let it rain. Anyway, so expanding out your allowance greater than your body, and another big, beautiful bubble up into the sky, down into the earth, expanding out your allowance. Greater than the planet, greater than the solar system, greater than the galaxies, greater than the universes, expanding out your allowance greater than your awareness. Beautiful. Take a big deep breath in and out. And now before you open your eyes, I would like you to choose the first number that pops into your mind between 1 and 88, please. And then pop that in the chat. Beautiful. Judy, you got grandmothers. Grandmothers are the role models for their grandchildren. They teach the children their knowledge and skills. They don't have to be the ones to discipline the children, but just have the job of giving lots of love. The things which they teach their grandchildren will stay with them always, from that little piece of advice to how to lick a plate in style. The wonderful thing about grandmothers is that they can be so different. One might stay at home and bake, while another might be out running a marathon. But both love their grandchildren just as much. The love from one grandmother can never be compared. It is very unique and will remain that way forever. So the interesting thing about this one, Judy, is as I was reading it, I was remembering a story from, or a section, sorry, of the Conversations with God. And it was in book 3, if I remember correctly. And it was around the family structure. And as I was reading this, they were talking about the fact that grandparents should actually be the ones to raise the grandchildren. And that, yeah, I know, right? I thought so. And the reason for that is that the grandparents have already generally done their working life, right? Sometimes you get grandmothers that continue to work, like my grandmother on my mum's side continued to work until she was 81. So she's still alive till today. But there are a lot of grandmothers who get to a point once they've got the grandchildren or even great-grandchildren floating around, and they've got a lot more free time. And so they've got, and also that life experience and patience that, say, the parents don't have, especially these days with having to work, both parents having to work and earn the money. But what they suggested in that book, The Complete Conversations with God, was that the dynamic of the grandparents raising the children is actually brilliant because their knowledge comes from a far greater amount of years and experience than what their parents are. So it like the parents go out, earn the money, keep the house running with food and power and heating and all the things. Like, go do that. Get the experience out there, get that life experience, get the people handling skills experience, get all of that sort of stuff. You can pop out your babies and allow the grandparents to look after them. Gives them a job as well. And it was just one of those things that I looked at and I went, do you know what? Some of my most precious things, most precious memories is from me as the granddaughter hanging out with my granddad and out on the farm and doing farming things and learning so much from him in a really super practical way. And even my grandmother on my dad's side, I never got to meet my granddad on that side. He passed away 6 months before I was born. But I learned a lot from her as well. I sort of got a little bit of a taste of music, and she sort of started to teach me to read music. And I got a bit of the arts and crafts side from her, and a bit of the cooking side from her, and a bit of the gardening side from her. And I didn't get to spend very much time, but those are the things that really stuck in my mind. So as this poem reflects, this is a mixture of both of my grandmothers together. So I guess what I'm really saying to you, Judy, is you have a really precious and important role in your grandchildren's lives, and especially the one that's living with you. And I hope that you know the collective appreciates the work that you are doing. It's important work. And those grandchildren that are getting to hang out with you and learn from you are going to be so much better off in the long run than those kids that never get to hang out with their grandparents because of whatever reason, you know. So thank you. This is kind of like a big old thank you from your team, and thank you from the collective for doing what you're doing, because it's an important role. So, yay. Oh, dear. So this was actually written for my grandmother on her 60th birthday. And it became a creation that had hand-drawn flowers adorning the edges of blue paper, covered in Duracell to protect the calligraphy-styled poem, and hung from the wall for many years of my grandparents' dining room. Yeah. All righty. Thank you, Judy. All right. Melinda, interesting that you chose 11 again. Twinkle. Yes, exactly. You can let your inner child out because you don't care about what anybody else thinks anymore. It's brilliant. Oh, dear. Twinkle. When you lose something that's really special, it's true that you don't realize what you had until it's gone. It may seem insignificant to someone else, but to you, it can be much more than you ever thought. Melinda, this one's about your dad today, or this time. And it is more about the relationship that you think you've lost. It's a little bit what I was talking about before about my mom. And once I had that sort of like realization of why we have the same life path number, what you're going through currently around him is your loss of the fantasy of what a father for you should be. What if your dad was exactly what was required for you to be you? And once you can get to that point of going, oh shit, yeah, that's when the forgiveness will flow, and that's when the lightness will come into your heart, and that's when it won't matter if he's the most narcissistic, abusive fucking asshole in the world, because it's like, I don't choose that. And he showed me what that looks like. He showed me what that is. And I'm not choosing that. And it feels good to not choose that. So thank you. Thank you for showing me that. I appreciate it. And while we would have all loved to have had parents that adored us and told us every day that they loved us and gave us big, huge hugs and given us, all the time in the world and interest in us and loving, supportive words and all those sorts of things. For you to be who you are and to be as resilient and strong and tenacious and loving and an inspiration for others wouldn't have happened with any other dad. Not in the way that you are right now. So it's time to let go of the fantasy of what could have been. And just be grateful for what you did have. A beautiful, wonderful, shitty foundation to grow the best, most strongest roots of your own. Gotta love those gardening analogies. We can thank my grandmother for that. My grandma Pam. There we go. That's an interesting one. Thank you, Melinda. 44. Reborn. With each trouble and problem, even before I knew you existed, was bringing me closer to you. My life has had much heartache, as has yours, and through our hurt, we've learnt to be wary. However, when two souls connect, nothing can hold them back. The restrictions we put upon our hearts are wiped away with one single tear, to be replaced with undeniable trust, souls and bodies connecting to become a brand new life. Edwina, I'm getting that this is a bit of a shift in your relationship. There's been some stuff that maybe you've been holding on to in your heart, and it's time to, and it is shifting, it's moving, and you and your beautiful partner are going to be having a nice little rekindling as such. But it's going to require you to soften and allow your hurts and your heartaches to be let go of, to wash them away. This is the water season. This is where a lot of emotional shit's coming up. And a lot of that old stuff is coming up to be washed away and forgiven and all that sort of jazz. So I see a lot of good things for you and your partner. There's some hurts there. And whether you speak it through or whether you energetically release it or whatever you choose to do, however you choose to do, you know what to do there. Use your awareness and it'll be amazing for you. And you guys can reconnect and yeah, you got this. You got this. As it says, to become a brand new life. There's going to be a brand new life for you guys. Thank you, Edwina. I just feel my heart just went woof. It's like, wow, that feels so good. Melinda, thank you. Very true. Yes, I do appreciate what he has shown me and what I don't want to be, and how I am a lot better off without the ongoing healing I am doing. With the ongoing healing that I'm doing. Great. Thank you for that insight. Very grateful. You're welcome. Melinda. We seem to, like, with this whole through here, the curtains are open. So fun. Paul, it is now your turn. Number 3. Oh, you're welcome, Edwina. It was a beautiful reading. It felt amazing. Okie dokie. So, Paul, you got insecure. Some people are so insecure within themselves that they feel they have a duty to bring everyone else down around them. These people should learn to overcome their problems within, find the better person inside, and then think about the people around them who have suffered because of the negative attitude which has been forced upon them. Once the negative attitude has been replaced, these people may find that they have an easier life in which they have success in business and their relationships. All right. So, Paul, what are you worried about? What are you afraid of? And this is not something that you have to put in the chat. It's something for you to consider. When we are feeling insecure or unsure or just not in a space where you can have quiet confidence, that's when the issues start popping in and false masks and all sorts of things start coming through. And the saying that's popping up in my mind right now is, those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter. Okay? So if you are truly, truly being you in all your wonderfulness that you have and you are, what would that look like? What would that feel like? What job would you have? What home would you have? Who would be around you? Who would be your personal cheer team? And if you don't have those things yet, start writing them down. Because the law of attraction is very true. But if we sit there all the time and we judge what we don't have, and a little bit like what was happening with Melinda, with her dad, and me with my mum, if you constantly judge what you don't have, you miss out on seeing the things that you do. So if you really take a good checkpoint, have a look at the people around you, see who you hang out with that makes you feel really good, and those that you hang out with that make you feel a little bit unsure, a bit like those ones that you feel like you have to people please a bit more with, or just not be yourself, then yeah, I would highly recommend that you go and check it out. Like, check out who you have around you and make some different choices as to what you would like to do. I would highly recommend you check the replay. Go back if you can. I don't know if you can do that on a live, but your reading started about 1 hour 30 minutes, roughly around there. Okay, so other than that, you can have a lot of success in your business and relationships and all that sort of stuff, but you've got to have a look and see what are you afraid of? Where are you not being you? Okay, so I'd go back, rewatch what I just said, because I can't remember it all. You got this. All right. All righty. That was funny. Righty. Okay, that was the last one. Fabulous. I need to drink some water. You're welcome, Paul. You're welcome. All right. Cool. So now that we've done the nice expanding out, we're just going to do another little. I hope you have a lovely weekend too, Judy. We're going to do a little meditation because we've got a lovely full moon. And even though the full moon is very tiring, because I just wish to be quiet and chill and do not too much physically and just enjoy being nourished and nurtured and have deliciousness around me. Hence the reason why I still do my show. Because you guys are deliciousness. I like your deliciousness and I like having you around me. It's also a very creative time. So we've had a lot of that popping up today around people's creativity and letting go of fears and inner child stuff. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make sure that everybody is nice and expanded out just quickly. And then we're going to go up to theta. And we're going to do a little teeny tiny exercise up in theta, do a little bit of healing up there. And then I'll bring you guys back down. And then we can finish up for the night. All right. So with your permission, I would love to do a little bit of work around letting go of fears that are holding you back from your creativity and whatever your creativity looks like for you. Okay. Thank you. All right, so closing your eyes. Take a big deep breath in and out. And as you breathe in, bring Mother Earth all the way up. And as you breathe out, bring your Father Sky energy all the way down. And now expanding out your awareness, just making sure it's nice and expanded out beyond wherever you've been before. And for those of you who have only just joined us, you're expanding out your awareness beyond your body, beyond the planet, beyond the solar system, beyond the galaxies, beyond the universes, at the very least. And now you're going to expand out your allowance all the way out beyond your awareness. Beautiful. And now we're going to have the beautiful, bright, white, opalescent light coming into your heart, going all the way down through your body, down through your feet, down into the center of Mother Earth, curling around the center of Mother Earth, and then moving all the way back up again, through all the crystalline layers, coming up through your feet and your legs, through your body, all the way up through your heart, your chest, all the way up through your head, through the crown, where it creates a big bubble above your head. And now imagine that you're inside that bubble, and now you're floating up higher and higher, like Willy Wonka and the Great Glass Elevator. It's going up higher and higher, through the golden light and the dark light, through the rainbow jelly light clouds and the pink misty clouds. You'll see a big, big opening, and bright white opalescent light is shining through that opening. You're going to move through that opening now until you're completely surrounded by the bright white opalescent light. It might feel like you're standing underneath the sun, and the sun's warm rays of unconditional love are shining down all over you. Please take a big, deep breath in now. And as you breathe out, the bubble around you dissolves. And as you take another big, deep breath in, the unconditional love moves in and through every single cell and molecule of your body. And as you breathe out, any tension, any stress leaves the body, and will continue to do so on every exhale until it is gone. In this space in Theta Healing, miracles can happen here. Instantaneous healing can happen here. The only thing that prevents it is your own points of views and belief systems. Because at the end of the day, you have free will. This is one of very few places where you are completely 100% surrounded by infinite unconditional love. This is love with no rules, no boundaries, no obligations, no expectations. Receive it or don't. The choice is yours. It has no judgment of you as to whether you've been a good person or a not good person. It doesn't care what you have done in the past or what you will do tomorrow or even what you have done today. It is there to just love you as you are in this present moment. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome just loves you regardless. For some of you, this might be the first time you've ever had that level of love, and it can feel a little unnerving. It might make you feel a little bit cautious, wary. And for all of that, I say just let it go. Let it flow out of your body on every exhale. And now I'm going to ask you to imagine that there is some beautiful light, bright white light. And we're going to just do a quick scan of your body. And as you scan your body from your head all the way down, what you're looking for is all of the energy points, all of the spots in your body where you have stored the energy that is creating the blocks to your creativity. All those harsh words that were said to you as you were growing up. Just have a look and see where they were stored. You don't have to relive that moment. It's just about identifying it from an observant point of view. All the shock, trauma, and heartache from any time anyone said or did anything that made you doubt your own creativity, your own value, and your own worth, and your own trust in you. Because the different parts of your body are related to different areas of your life. And the scan at the moment is just identifying them, allowing them to come to the surface. So that scanning moves down through your hips and your pelvis, through your legs, all the way down to your toes and to your fingertips. And you'll have a mental image now of all the hot spots in your body where you've stored those energies, all that shock, trauma, and heartache. And in this moment, you may have some awarenesses around parts of your body that maybe have been hurting, had pain, inflammation, disease, or dis-ease. And that could be directly related to what we are working on today. It's all information, that's all it is. Beautiful. So as we have scanned all of that, I'd now like you to imagine that there are 2 rubber stoppers, and they are in the soles of your feet, one on each foot. And I'd like you to now pull both of those stoppers out. These stoppers represent the belief systems and the points of views that you have created to keep you from feeling those feelings in totality. All that shock, trauma, and heartache is now starting to just float out your feet because it's no longer desired or required. That's why we did the scan to start off with. It was a starting process of washing it out of your system. And as it now moves out of your feet and you're looking at those stoppers, I'd like you to have those stoppers in your hands, in your palms, and you say, "Thank you, stoppers, for keeping me safe all these years. I'm so grateful for you, and you are no longer desired or required. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done." And as you say those words in your mind, the stoppers now disintegrate into dust, into energy, or they may just float up to the bright white light to be cleansed and cleared and never to return to you again. And now that unconditional love, that beautiful bright white light, is going to start working from your crown, filling you up with unconditional love, pushing out all of those energies that are no longer desired or required for your highest and best out your feet. You might find that it starts moving out the palms of your hands as well. And as this bright, white, beautiful, opalescent light of unconditional love moves down through your brain, through your subconscious and conscious mind, shifting away all of the shock, trauma, and heartache from all the times that have led you to feel like you weren't creative, that you couldn't trust your intuition or your creativity. And it created the spaces where you felt like you couldn't be confident. It's pushing all of that out of your system now, wiping you clean and clear and filling you up with unconditional love. All the way down through your mouth and all the cells and molecules of your jaw and your throat and your neck, through your shoulders. And as it moves through your shoulders and your chest, you feel like you can sit that little bit taller. And your shoulders are pushed back like, yeah, I got this. You feel all of that heavy emotions, those points of views, those experiences that have prevented you from grabbing your future and your creativity and with both hands, all of that is just disappearing out of your hands. Now, everything that is preventing you from being that and doing that is just washing away out of your arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, your fingertips. All the times where you felt like you've been punched in the guts from what somebody has said to you or done that has made you doubt yourself, doubt your creativity, and doubt your talents and your gifts. All of that is being washed away. It's being pushed down through your body and it's draining out your feet, where it's being sent to Creator to be cleansed and cleared and never to return to you again, ever, ever, ever. Leaving your guts free, leaving your stomach free to digest, leaving your heart free to feel all that beautiful inspiration and send those inspired moments out through your arms and through your body, through your voice and your eyes. Allowing you to digest your life with ease. Coming down through your pelvis, removing all of those shock, traumas, and heartaches which have been stored there from any relationships that you've had, any romantic relationships, and the parental ones too, getting rid of all of the ones, all of those energies which have helped to create the belief that you are not good enough, that you're not creative enough, that you're not talented enough. All of that, all of those enoughs are disappearing out of your system now, out of your bones, out of your organs, giving you back your confidence, giving you back your ability to know without a shadow of a doubt that you are freaking amazing, that you are talented, that you can and do excel in the things that you put your hands to, or your mind to, or your heart to, or your voice to. All of those negative thoughts and feelings are now disappearing out of your legs. All those moments where you haven't felt strong enough to stand up by yourself. All those moments where you felt that you had to do it by yourself because you couldn't rely on anybody else. Where you felt like the only way was to be alone. All of those doubts are now leaving your legs. Letting you soften and remember what it feels like to feel delicious and nurtured and calm and settled. Moving all that energy down through your knees, through your shins and your calves. Moving any energies away from you, from workplaces that have made you feel like you couldn't be confident and bold and brave and deliciously, wonderfully you. Moving out from your ankles, right through the soles of your feet into your toes. So you know now, without a shadow of a doubt, how amazing you are. You feel it with every single cell and molecule of your body. You can perceive the warmth and the calmness of unconditional love. You can know now what it's like to tap into your creative intuition and to hear your heart's sing swan song. And in this moment, you may be getting some ideas flashing in of the things that you would like to do and create and be a part of. And I ask that all that information be retained so that you can recall it with ease when we come back to being in the earthly plane and after your integration. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. So now we're going to come out of theta. We're going to float back down through the pink misty clouds and the rainbow jelly light clouds, all the way back through the golden light and back to your body. And now imagine that you're standing underneath a big, beautiful crystalline waterfall, and the waterfall is flowing over you and through you, washing away any other little fragments of energies that are ready to go, that are no longer serving you. Just doing that final little wash off. And now stepping out onto a big, warm river rock where you feel the warmth of Mother Earth underneath your feet once more. Take a big deep breath in, bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And now breathing out, bringing Father Sky and the unconditional love and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When you're ready, please open your eyes. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Love working in theta. It's one of my favorite places to function. And I always feel very calm and relaxed. And the rain has just started coming down here. I love the sound of a good rainstorm. So, as self-care, you're welcome, Judy. Self-care, please have some water. Pop a little bit of Himalayan salt in your water if you wish. But please have some water now because we've done some energetic work and you need the water. Okay? Your body requires it. Because you guys are so amazing. And just go easy on yourselves this week. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming up. Okay? So don't be surprised if you have, let's see. Come on. If you have a lot of your, if you're being called to be in your softness a lot more this week, okay? Your intuition is going to be off the frickin' charts. So don't be surprised if you start being really aware of when people are not being overly truthful with you. It's not going to be a surprise. And watch what you're eating. And I'm not saying that everybody has to go vegan or vegetarian because I'm certainly not going to. But have more whole foods, natural foods. try to stay away from the processed foods this week because your belly's going to be not very happy with you. Okay. So yes, your intuition and all that good stuff is going to be really off the charts this week. So enjoy that. You can resist and react to it if you like, but it's not going to be as much fun for you. It's like when I look at those sorts of readings, I see, mediumship, intuitive feelings, clairvoyance, law of attraction. It's like, oh, this is going to be a really interesting week. I wonder how I'm going to feel at the end of the week. And here's the thing, if you don't allow yourself to just feel the feels and flow through it, it will hang around for a lot longer. Sometimes our integrations take a long time. Anyway, until next week, my beautiful friends, I hope you have an amazing week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful ones. See you soon. And for those of you on the YouTube land, subscribe and like. See you soon. Bye-bye.